In today's video, we're going to talk about how my Canon gear, my 5D Mark II and my Canon R5 are still incredible options for photo and video. Let's get into it. I will make my pitch again this week to the B cam in black and white. Might add a little echo or phone effect here. I think it just needs something audio-wise. Anyways, that's not the point. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on my birthday, March 28th. It's currently March 5th. I don't think I'm going to make that number. It has been going up, so any new subscribers, thank you. I appreciate you. I love you all. If you like my content, if you like this journey that I'm going on, I'm having fun putting these videos together. I'm having fun trying to come up with ideas and things to do. Please subscribe, like, leave a comment, engage, and let's just build a fun community of like-minded, photographers, videographers, filmmakers, gearheads, and, post-production folk. So that's my pitch for this week. I really wanted to make this video because I've been talking a lot about Nikon lately, and that's not fair to my Canon gear. Because to be honest with you, I've been a Canon shooter most of my life. I only started shooting with the ZF last spring, right? Everything else has been Canon. And I have said for the longest time that my favorite camera of all time was my Canon R5. So this is a Canon R5, the original. I owned the EOS R, and then I have my original Canon 5D Mark II, which was actually my first full-frame camera that I bought like in 2015. And I was so excited to go full frame because everybody was like, go full frame, go full frame. And I finally went full frame, and I felt so accomplished. I just wanted to briefly talk about the Canon 5D Mark II because this camera right here was one of the first cameras that, I think it actually was the first camera that Canon put out that had video built into it. And to be honest with you, this thing still shoots pretty decent 1080p video. The sensor in this camera is also really, really clean and beautiful. I don't know what it is about this sensor specifically, but I still really enjoy shooting on this camera from time to time. Like randomly, I'll just feel in the mood to pick this up, put this 20mm. I have the Sigma, right now I have the Sigma 20mm f1.4 art lens on this, and I really, really enjoy shooting with this lens. It's great for low light. I've shot Halloween Horror Nights in Hollywood a few times with it. I've sold most of the glass that I had for this, for the EF system, because I switched over to the RF system. I still have 3 lenses. I have the 20mm, I have the 50mm, which is currently on my film camera, and then I have my all-time favorite lens that I've bought for the EF system, which is the Canon 85mm f1.8. This is by far my favorite lens that I've ever bought for Canon. The 85mm f1.8 is absolutely gorgeous. I've taken some of my favorite photos on this lens, especially of my previous boxer that I had way back in 2008. I use this lens a lot to photograph her. The other lens that I have for it is the 50mm. This is the original 50mm. I had the newer version that I bought during COVID, but I sold it because it still had decent resale value. So I have on my film camera, I have the Canon 50mm, which I absolutely love this lens as well. Everyone needs a nifty 50 in their kit. Nikon really doesn't have a compact nifty 50. They got the 40mm, which I guess is the closest thing. Anyways, we're not talking about Nikon today. We're talking Canon. So that's pretty much my EF system setup. As far as the RF system, this is where I'm deeply, heavily invested, which makes switching to Nikon kind of a pain to do because I have so much. I have the R5, the original. This, I've said, is the best camera I've ever shot with because it has the best autofocus, it has the best, easiest menu systems. The lenses on this are gorgeous. The RF lens, this is the 15-35. This is my favorite lens, but the R5 is by far the best camera I've ever used. It's been a workhorse, it's solid, it's literally never failed. When I need to get autofocus because I'm running around chasing my nieces and my nephews or whatever, this camera comes in the clutch. This camera's perfect. I can't say that about the Nikon ZF. The ZF, I've missed focus a lot. I feel like it's a slightly slower system. It's not as good as the Canon system. That's still kind of why I'm like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But if I switch to the Nikon Z8, then I know that will probably trump this camera because it's a newer camera and it's gotten really good. So the lenses that I have for this, for the RF system, the 24mm, which I rarely use, and I really am considering selling this one, regardless whether I jump into Nikon or not. I just don't use it enough. That's a 24mm f1.8. So if you're in the market for one, reach out. But one of my favorites is the Nifty 50. The RF 50mm is really nice. It's small, it's compact. It's an absolutely gorgeous lens too. Have nothing negative to say about this. And then the other one that I picked up that I was never really a 35mm shooter. Like 35mm was never really my focal length, but for whatever reason lately, I've really liked shooting on the Canon 35mm. I just find it to be a really nice focal length that I like. I still prefer 28mm over a 35, but if I sold the 24, I'd probably get the Pancake 28mm. So I'd have the 28mm, 35mm, and 50mm. And then I'd have the 16 and 35 zoom lens for video. And then I guess I'd have a 24-70 at some point for a walk-around lens. That's kind of your everyday walk-around lens on vacation type of situation. That's if I'm acting like I'm staying in Canon, which I don't know if I'm switching or not. I literally think about this every damn day. Do I switch? Do I stay? I don't know what to do. So that covers my RF lenses. I want to go back to the Canon 5D Mark II for a second. So this lens, this camera, the whole reason why I wanted to make this video was because if you're looking for I'm going to show this camera some love. What's up, y'all? If you're looking for just the camera to do like the most basic still photography, if you don't care about video or having the latest and greatest, this camera is an absolute gem of a camera. It's a camera that still gives you tremendous images. The media for it, the CF cards, these are super cheap and affordable. For a few $100, you can legitimately have a full frame camera that still holds its own against these other cameras. Yes, it doesn't have the latest video, all the frame rates, doesn't have the best autofocus compared to some of these newer cameras, but it's still going to give you tremendous photos. And I think that's kind of, we lose that point sometimes when we're talking about gear so much. When we're so focused on gear and the latest and greatest. The C50, beautiful camera. The open gate, amazing. All the frame rates, amazing. Canon has come a long way. Nikon has come a long way. But that doesn't mean that these older cameras are completely and utterly useless. This camera is in very good condition. It's in mint condition. And I refuse to sell it because I would love to pass this down to my kid at some point. I don't have a kid yet. But when I have a kid, I hope they pick up photography. My niece is kind of showing signs that she wants to be in photography. Because every time I take a photo of her, she says, Uncle, can I take a photo of you? So I give her the camera and, she holds it up and takes the photo, which is the cutest thing because she's only 4. So she's holding this big camera and she's snapping away and she sees that I pop off a bunch of photos. So then she pops off a bunch of photos. And then one time I was shooting film and I was like, okay, you have to, this is film. Just take one photo. Don't take a lot. And she's like, okay, Uncle, okay. And then she just took one. And it was perfect. So that's like our thing now. We like take portraits of each other, but it's like, I actually have the photo back here somewhere. I don't know what side. I think it's on this side. I totally got sidetracked with that story, but to me, it's the cutest fucking thing. Going back to these cameras. Okay, so this camera I won't get rid of because it's a gorgeous camera. And to be honest with you, sometimes I miss the simplicity of these cameras. The menu system is a lot more straightforward. It's easier to use. It feels great in your hand. It's a big bulk. I think it's weather sealed, right? It's just a robust. It's kind of like it's like a 5th gen Toyota 4Runner. If my girlfriend ever sees this video, she's going to hate this reference because I will not shut up about 4Runners. This is like a 5th gen 4Runner. It's just reliable. It is robust and it'll last you a lifetime. And there's also the Canon 5D Mark III and the Canon 5D Mark IV, right? Which I believe they were still selling the 5D Mark IV brand new as, a couple years ago. I think they were still selling it. Sometimes we get lost in the new latest and greatest gear. And some people just want to start shooting photos. All of this gear that I just showed, you could probably pick up, aside from the R5. Well, even the R5 you can get pretty cheap now. All the EF glass, the 5D Mark II, the EF glass, all that stuff, you could probably honestly get for under $1,000. So for any aspiring photographers, if you just want to shoot photos and the hell with video, and even if you wanted to do video, this has 1080p. They used this on some feature films back in the day. Yes, it's not going to give you Canon C-Log and all these other features, but sometimes, like these older systems, it's fun to shoot with, and it's more than enough. It's more than enough. Just saying. I mean, I like my new toys too, but sometimes you gotta remind yourself that all of this gear is still very, very solid. My final word is this. In an age of all these new cameras and all these amazing new toys, we all love the new toys, right? But there's something to be said about these older cameras that were made 10 years ago that are only not being used because just technology got better and they moved up to mirrorless and they started incorporating more features, and they started to make such technological advances that it basically made people forget about these. But I'm trying to show these some love and basically say that if this is what you can afford, these are great starter cameras. The fact that you can go full frame for a few $100 is tremendous. You don't have to go drop $2,000 on an R5. That's all I'm trying to say. Some of these older cameras are more than enough. That's it. So as much as I love gear, I love buying new cameras, I love looking at new cameras, I love renting cameras. I can't wait to get my hands on a Z8, which is probably the camera that I'm going to rent when I take my road trip to Utah next month, just to compare it to the R5. But I love it, and I love shooting on all this gear. It's a lot of fun. But having said that, let's not forget kind of where we came from, and that all this stuff, I could take this camera to Utah and get tremendous results. I want to thank you if you stuck around to the end of this video. I just want to show Canon some love. I feel like I've kind of been ignoring them and kind of, been talking shit about them lately, but I'm just frustrated as a Canon user that we're not getting the things that Nikon and Fuji and Panasonic are giving their users. With all of that said, I will see y'all in the next one.